Hi everybody. Today's video is going to be the fragrances that I've purchased in the second quarter of this year, and also the perfumes that I've been focusing on using over the same period. So it's going to be the same as it was in the first quarter, an overhead camera angle, but I think it's better in terms of, your ability to see the perfumes, not to get distracted by me. So, yeah, as in, who's that weird woman? But anyway, so I actually got quite a few more perfumes than I thought that I did have. But I'll go through the items that I've purchased. The first one in April was this one, and it's Lattafa Oud Mood. Now, I'd heard quite a lot. I mean, you'd have to not be watching social media at all, not to be aware of, advertisements and, shorts recommending or trying to sell Middle Eastern fragrances. Now, there are a lot of fragrances houses that are selling quite inexpensive fragrances. For example, this is around £20 or a little less on Amazon UK, so I'm expecting Amazon's elsewhere as well. So the reason I picked this up was that I go walking every day with my little dog around a water park area, and there's a young man, early 20s, that I see fairly regularly. And one day he was sat down on a bench as I walked by, and I could have this wonderful scent wafted my direction. And I did, I knew him to say hello to, and I asked him, I said, what his fragrance was, because I said, it's extremely wonderful. And he told me what it was, and he got it out on his phone and showed me. So I realised it was Oud Mood by Lattafa. So I went home and Googled it, found it on Amazon and ordered it the same evening after looking at reviews on Fragrantica, because that's one of the trusted websites that I use. So basically, I wouldn't normally buy oud anything because I don't like oud, and that is the focal point for Middle Eastern perfumes, because it really is what is unique to their perfumes, and now in the last 10 or 15 years has featured strongly in Western perfumes as well. So like I said, I picked that up, and the box is not really my taste. It's a bit goody for me, but I tell you, it's very, very good for storing bottles, because it has a lid which attaches, you're not going to lose it, and in that area there, the fragrance sits in secure. So whilst it might be bulky for shipping, and when Amazon are charging £20, this is not costing a lot of money to make. So I do commend Lattafa and other brands as well, producing inexpensive products that are quite good. I'm not going to say they're up there with perhaps some of the niche perfumes, but what I will say, I was very pleasantly surprised. So this is the bottle. It's extremely heavy and it's quite large, so it's difficult to display, and it's so weighty. I don't know how they managed to distribute it throughout the world. The packaging, I like the bottle's fine. The packaging is a bit gaudy. It reminds me a bit of Rihanna. Is it Riri perfume? Had this stripe effect, but this is with ribbon. So it's got a gold top. It is a spray. And it's got an amber fluid, and I'll read you the notes on Fragrantica. Now, some of the notes are notes as voted by Fragrantica members, and these are for Oud Mood. I'm not sure when it came out. Fragrantica doesn't say, but I think 2022, because others in this range with similar packaging came out that year. So basically, it is unisex. It's got rose, saffron, pimento, agar wood, which is oud, caramel, floral notes, patchouli, woody notes, resins, amber, incense and musk. So it is a smoky, sweet incense is how it is described. Now, I would say that there is an element of sweetness, because some incenses can be quite bitter. But I will say that it is reminiscent to a degree of church incense. Not fully. I think the agar wood makes it more a bit Middle Eastern. But the DNA is there. And it's beautiful, a beautiful, well-balanced fragrance, and it is a powerhouse. Now, what I will say is, like I say, it can be used. Anyone can wear this, I would say. I don't feel that it's particularly summer friendly, and you might find it odd because the Middle East is generally very hot. Yes, certainly in the day, but a lot of people live in cities and live in air-conditioned apartments and workplaces, so it would be quite chilly. So this would work well, I think, in that sort of environment, at least in my opinion. But when I got this, it took a while to settle down. I don't think the fragrance is at its best once it's been shipped and it's been shaken, because once the water molecules and the fragrance molecules are shaken, it does affect the performance. So if you get a perfume, the best thing to do is, unless you got it from a store, it's been in ideal conditions, really, it's to lay it down in a dark place, cool dark place, and then leave it for a few weeks, at least a week, and then you'll see. So it's true fragrance. Now, I really do enjoy this. It is a Middle Eastern take on a church incense, in my opinion, and I really do like it. And it has a strong, like a very good sillage or throw, and it is long wearing, and it doesn't change too much during the course. Obviously, it does get a bit more incensey towards the end, but it does last many hours. I haven't really tried it to any great deal, I will say, because obviously it's spring, summer, and I've not had chance yet, but I will be sharing that with Mr. Bear, who does enjoy it. The next item is by Hermatica. Now, Hermatica is a French brand. The perfume is Rose Fire Eau de Parfum Dry Waters. Now, when I was looking at this, there's a lot of Middle Eastern writing, or Arabic writing. It's 100 ml. And when I look on the bottom, it has distributed by Memo Paris. So I think there is some link, whether it's the same company, brother, sister company of this. But the older company is Memo Paris, which isn't that old. But Memo prides itself on being, or markets itself on being, an alcohol-free perfume company. It isn't alcohol. They're not alcohol-free. They may be some form of alcohol, ethyl alcohol free, but they do have butyl alcohols, because it says alcohol free and underneath contents alcohol, and that's with the memo. It's quite odd, but this generally doesn't have alcohol in it. It doesn't have either of the alcohols, but there are many compounds that do mimic alcohol, because alcohol is used for extraction of perfumes, extraction of essences, because by fatty alcohols, which I think are butyl alcohols. So in order to get good extraction, you generally do need alcohol. But obviously, if it's on religious and faith and cultural grounds, it's alcohol that you drink, or those forms of alcohol. So I think others are generally okay. But this one doesn't have any, but it does project reasonably well. The sillage is close to the body. It's a skin type fragrance from this line. And when I first got it, I felt it was quite watery and was a bit disappointed. But once it was left for about a month and I tried it, I was blown away. So basically, Rose Fire does aptly describe what it is. It's like a fiery hot rose. So when I picked this up, this 100 ml, normally the bottles are about £165, the refill £125. So I got a refill because this was being sold, I think it was £40 or £45, and I thought, well, that's a bargain. As a blind buy, it's a bargain. So I didn't have a chance to test it out. I'm not sure there are places I can easily get to Hermatica, but it's a bottle that you unscrew. And basically it says you can screw it on and then you can tip it upside down and refill the bottles through this spout, but I couldn't get it to work. So I unscrewed it and I used a funnel. I have several funnels. This came with a Prada perfume I don't know if you can see it, many years ago. And I filled up a bottle and I let it settle in the bottle in the dark, in the cool place. So that is it. So I bought this bottle from eBay. It's a Prada, a Chanel type bottle, £10 or less. So that was a good bargain. And as long as it's stored in a dark place, because it is a clear bottle, all's well. So, but also to be aware, because it hasn't been crimped shut, it has been poured in. Any fragrance that is poured and that's not crimping, which means is a process to reduce air getting into a bottle, is always better for preservation of perfumes. Like this one is crimped in there, but underneath the cap it is crimped. This one isn't, so they do tend to go off quicker or change their fragrance notes quicker, because if you're able to pour them from one bottle to another, air gets in. That was just a cautionary note. So with the Hematica, it has been described as being rose, aromatic, green, floral, violet, powdery and balsamic. Now the Hematica doesn't say much, it just says rose, violet, and I think it might have a musk element. It's got a profile of only about 3 ingredients, but I feel that it's quite similar to Delina, which I've also got here by Damali, the original Delina, in that it's got a fiery, peppery, spicy rose, which is also in Delina. Otherwise, I wouldn't say the perfumes are a copy of one another. They're not, but it's just there are spicy similarities. I think they're extremely, extremely nice. So I have enjoyed the Rose Fire, and that came out in, let me just get that, in 2018. The next item I picked up earlier on this year from a website in America. I was buying some other items, not necessarily for me, and I wanted to try this because I had sort of like the original that came out in 1987, and it's Byzance by Rocha. Now Rocha is quite an old perfume house, and the bottle and the box is very similar to the original. In fact, I think this bottle is more beautiful than the original, but again, it's all personal preference. So it's Byzantine period in history. It's influenced by it's got a crimped top there, and I remember the original fragrance. It was quite aldehyde, quite fresh, and I hadn't got it. And I thought, well, I'll give this one a try, because this was only £26 or £27 for 90ml, which is full size. And the ones that were smaller were more expensive on the site. So I thought, well, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to buy that. So this has been voted as having vanilla, powdery, floral, wood, musky, sweet, citrus, fruity and almond notes. Now, I don't get any almond at all in it, but officially it's got pear, bergamot, neroli, heliotrope, freesia, which I love freesia, rose, musk. So these are all notes that I love. Now, what I will say, although it does have vanilla in, it is not a gourmand vanilla. It is very, very fresh. So this is a fresh ozonic, watery type fragrance. It does have some lasting power, but it doesn't have a strong sillage. It does hug the body, but it is unisex but slightly more feminine. Like Rosefire, I think is slightly more feminine, but I think it's a beautiful bottle. Now, they have brought another version out since this, and it's an all gold bottle. I think it's more concentrated, but this is beautiful. I thought I'll just give it a punt for the money, but I really do enjoy it. And yeah, that's been a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. The next item I've got was from a brand that has been going since 2000. Well, I don't know, since the 2000s, I would say, maybe a bit earlier. It's not a very old brand. It's Montal, Paris. And this is full incense. So Montal, their novel or unique selling point is that they bottle, or you shouldn't say bottle, they have canisters. So this is an aluminium canister. And so it makes it lightweight for transport, and the opaque, so it does help preserve in terms of light damage. But because it isn't glass, it can heat up quicker than glass, and so heat can also disrupt fragrance and damage the formula. So it isn't very good for heat, you know, if it's exposed to heat at all. But what I will say is that their angle is they've put it in metal. Now, it does turn all of their individual fragrances slightly metallic. Now, I know people think a metallic notes that you taste a metallic taste in the mouth, but you can actually also smell metallic notes. Now, these were one of the first to do it that I'm aware of, but following them, Comme des Garçons have had metal in perfumes. I think they had one called Concrete that also had a metallic element in. And then the Tom Ford very recently did a metallic. It was in a silver bottle, a metallic vibe, which I've not smelled that one. But I'm not all in on metallic. It does depend on the individual fragrance. But with this, I think it works quite well. So this one is, as it says, it's full incense. Now, I remember it being released, and because it was described as having a majorly patchouli note, I dislike patchouli, I didn't get it, and also it wasn't easy to test. Now, I did test this in recent years in Selfridges, but I've been back to Selfridges and I don't think they no longer have Montal. I think Montal may have gone to the House of Fraser group, but I am familiar with this fragrance. So I thought I'd pick this up. So I got this online for £70. It wasn't a clearance, it was a sale. They're normally around £125, but you can pick Montals up you know, fairly inexpensively. Now, I think this is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. For me, it is one of the church incense group. I have several, and this is one that I'm adding to my collection. So, it's been voted as having amber, balsamic, woody, smoky, warm, spice, and aromatic notes. Officially, it's stated as having Somali incense, which is Somali frankincense, because that's where most frankincense is sourced. From wood. It oozes a resin from wood in Somalia, but not only Somalia, but they're well known for that. Elamai, labadanum, which is a plant which gives a very resinous fragrance, aromatic fragrance. There's other resins, cedar and patchouli. Now, I don't get cedar notes. The patchouli is there, but it is not overwhelming. So for me, it is a slightly spicy, slightly sweeter and warmer version of a church incense, but it is a good 85% there. Absolutely lovely. It leans more masculine. I wear it. It is unisex, but I think it is absolutely stunningly beautiful. I do like the House of Montal. This is the first full size that I've had. I do have another from a Harrods advent calendar. But I was intrigued when this brand launched, but again, it was limited ability to, because I don't like blind buying expensive fragrances. So, yeah, I was very, very pleased with that. I think that is more of a winter, autumn-winter fragrance for me. Then I have another product that I picked up. This was in a sale in Selfridges, and this is Delina Travel Set, and it's 30 times 0.3 fluid ounce. So I think it's 10 mil, 30 times 10 mil. Is it 20? No, it's 20. I think it's 3 times 10 mil. So basically, I got this because you got 3 travel bottles, and I do like to have this when I'm out to top up. You wouldn't need to top up that often because it's a very, very strong fragrance, but I just thought, you never know, it might be useful to have an atomizer. So what there's 3 in here. There's 1 already in this flagon. You lift the top out. It's quite. No, I thought it might have a rare earth mineral magnetic. It doesn't. It clips on. Now this is secure. So when you need to change the container of fluid, you need a coin to knock out the centre, and then the whole thing comes out. There it is. So there's 10 mil in there, 30 mil in all. So this normally retails at £165, which is expensive, I know. I picked this up for I think it was £94 on the sale, so I knew that was very good, because the 3 bottles alone, if I got 3 bottles, there's 3 bottles here, that is £125. So basically, it was like getting this for free, but it was £94 for the lot. What I didn't realise is this weighs a tonne. Well, I'm exaggerating somewhat. It's 162.5 gram. So 162 gram is, you know, it's over 1.5. It's more than £1/4, going on towards £0.5. It feels really heavy. If you were to throw this at someone and it was to make contact, it could do potentially serious injury. You could throw it at a wall, it would probably damage the wall. It's that heavy and dense. It's a very dense, so it's not the easiest, I feel, for travel, because it's going to weigh down any bag or pocket. It will probably damage a pocket. But this atomizer is used for across the range for men and women. Now, it's either they're going to change the atomizer, but I think it's more that they wanted to get rid of this stock to bring new stock in, because this is screw top and it's not crimped. This can change, the fragrance can change over time. So I think that's why they sold it on. I'm sure this will come back in. It was just a promotional offer. So I've now got, I think, virtually all the forms of the fragrance of the original Delina. So this one came out in 2017. It has lychee, rhubarb, bergamot, nutmeg, Turkish rose, peony, musk, petelia, which is an artificial molecule. Then it's got vanilla and Cashmerian again is another artificially created ingredient. And then it's got incense, which is frankincense, cedar and Haitian vetiver. So I really do enjoy Delina. It is a bit more complex and punchy than the subsequent exclusive, which a lot of people like, but I found exclusive a bit bland. Then the next item that I picked up, the final one, towards the very end of June, was by Chanel, and it's the Gabrielle, and it's the travel set. So basically, you get this atomizer, and then you get, let me just see if I can get it out. It's not the easiest to come out, and there it is. It's very beautiful. It's a whitish gold. I mean, it's a yellow gold, but it's not too bright. Let me see how it's oh, I was nearly going to pull it. No, it's a twist top. There it is. It's a twist top. So, and the twist is away from the writing, because sometimes when perfume sprays, it can take writing off. So I think doing it to the sides is very clever. It's got the CCs on the top. So this was full price. I didn't get any reduction on this. The mechanism's really, really good on this. But you got 60 ml, so there's 20 ml in the atomizer, and then there's 2 more 20 mils. So basically, once you've got the atomizer, although it has Gabrielle, you could use any other travel scent you could add. Now this one, unlike the Damali, it is crimped sealed. Can you see the crimping there? So that does protect the perfume to a large degree from going off before it's used, or changing, shall we say. So yeah, I've got this, and it's quite light. So it's metal, but it's quite light. So I'll be able to use that when I travel. Now this is a gift. I bought it, but I'm going to be reimbursed by Mr. Bear because it is our anniversary next month, and that is the gift that he is giving me. So I'm very, very pleased. So there is a lot more items than I thought I would be buying, but I'm not planning more really, but who knows. But I'm very pleased. Some of these are more autumnal sort of fragrances, and others are just top-ups for travel. Now in the Montal, I meant to also show there's a bag. It is like a rubberized, sort of rubber coated fabric that's waterproof, and it protects the bottle somewhat against scratching, I would think, and denting. Now the next part is the fragrances that I've been using in the second 3 months of the year. The first one is Paradise Moon, which I also used in the first quarter for March. So March and April I used this because I think it's 100 ml. Absolutely beautiful, fruity, floral with leather notes and some incense. Absolutely lovely. It's my favourite of this line of, I think, around 12 fragrances. And it's now up to the label. There, if you can just see, so I've used about that much of it. Love it. The next one that I focused on was Valentino. I think it's Donna in Rome, or When in Rome, and this one is the coral version. I've enjoyed using that. It has a bit of an unusual opening, and I think only after about 5 minutes do I think it settled down. It seems to be quite burnt plasticky as well, like very odd, but when it settled, a bit sharp, and hairspray as well. It's probably the aldehydes, but after 5 minutes, it's absolutely gorgeous. So I've used up to the top of the label. Now, I only used it for a month. This is a 50 ml, but I have enjoyed using it throughout May. And then in June, I broke this out, the Byzance, and where it is now is I'll point across here. That's what I've used, and I really, really enjoyed this. Lovely and light for spring and for summer. Absolutely gorgeous and inoffensive. So they're all the items that I have been using. I just wanted to give a note, because I didn't give the notes of Chanel. The Chanel Original Gabrielle is an eau de parfum. These are all eau de parfums. And it has grapefruit, mandarin, orange, blackcurrant, orange blossom, jasmine, ylang ylang, tuberose, lily of the valley, pear, pink pepper, musk, cashmere and orris. So yeah, that's a beautiful, I would say Gabrielle, the original, is a solar or a sun type fragrance with fruity notes. There's quite a bit of pear in this. I prefer this to the Essence. The Essence is more dense and not syrupy, because it's more dense floral, but it has a dominant or predominant to me sandalwood note, and quite a lot of jasmine in. This one is more tuberose, but there is jasmine, and I prefer tuberose to jasmine, one of my favourite florals. So yes, they're all the items that perfumes that I've bought and that I have been focusing on for the second quarter of the year. Can I say thank you very much for watching? Thank you. I do appreciate that you're spending some time with me, for a lot of time with me. I'm just very gratified by that. And hopefully I shall see you again in another video. I do have a similar video like this about my makeup purchases, but I haven't got, it won't be as in-depth or long as this. But otherwise, hopefully I shall see you soon. I hope you enjoy the weather. I hope you have good weather wherever you are. And if you like perfumes, that you're enjoying yours, whatever the season. And otherwise, like I say, please take care of yourselves. Hopefully I shall see you soon. But otherwise, bye for now.